good day to you. In this short video, what I'm going to be doing is to actually explain um, another threat to the internal validity. And this particular threat is called testing. Most especially in education research, the students are given tests that their responses are actually from the cognitive domain. They have to work it out. It might be a mathematical test, English, and their responses. Most of the time, most of these tests are usually multiple choice items. Now, the very important thing to know is that the human brain has ability to recall. And as a result of that, it is a possibility that between the pre-test and the post-test, a particular participant it becomes familiar with the test items, and maybe he thought about it or she thought about what the participant thought about how to solve it correctly, and he gains mastery of the test items, and he now supplies a better response during the post test. The participants are likely to be familiar with test administer, and as soon as they master it, we can't say that it is actually the treatment that caused the mastery, but the ability to recall the test as it were. So in this particular instance, we cannot conveniently say that it is the treatment that accounted for the improvement in the scores in the dependent measure. For instance, if a student is somebody given to metacognition, and he begins to learn and reflection, deep reflection, so he could remember that he has the calculation he did was wrong, and he could recall the question, he might likely improve and solve it at home. So when the post test is administered, the students can perform well as a result of being a test sensitization, pre-test sensitization. So to avoid this kind of problem in the research work that is experimental, quasi-experimental, that we do most especially in education, one could rework the version of the pretest such that number one can be number seven. Even the options can be rearranged. It is a possibility. Another thing that could be done is to ensure that the duration between the pre-test um, and the post-test must not be between pre-test and post-test must not be too short. For example, um, when you give a pre-test between 2 weeks and post-test after 2 weeks, there's a likely to recall. Then it is also important that the researcher can use equivalent form of the test such that, you know, let's say you are testing addition and question one is 1 plus 3, which should be equals to 4. In the next test, you could do 2 plus 5 as number one, because the principle that you are actually testing is the principle of addition. It not even if it's a science subject, you can put, let's say you are dealing with force, and you can actually put another value of force and acceleration so that the participants will not be familiar with the test that is being administered, and they will not get improvement as a result of the test mastery, but as a result of the the treatment that is used to teach them. You know that when you give them a pre-test, you teach them with a particular strategy, and the post-test is administered afterwards. Thank you very much for following all our videos. I want you to share, like, and subscribe uh, in these videos that are related to threats to internal validity. I expect your questions and remarks in the comment section.